As spawning in the top left-hand corner of Whispers of Gold, we have the German Protoss player, the green Protoss representing Streamer Zone. It is Jumy. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the red Zerg player, the red Zerg from South Korea, representing Diamond Gladiators. It is SHIN. Poor Homeowner coming up against the TBT Sniper Tuna King. True. Oh my god. That's like best case scenario for Ryung. Unironically, all the Terrans, and we're popping off with the proxy. If you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will take the series. Again, Jumy, he has been getting some very good results as of late. He took down Rogue, I think it was last week, in the WardiTV February event, and he also went to town against Solar as well. Like, Jumy has been looking very strong in this matchup. He also took down a Laser. We'll see how he compares to SHIN as we're popping off with a proxy. 2 gateways and a forge for some cannons alongside it. He's an animal, so he's going for a cannon rush with zealots to support. Remember, no gases. It's purely proxy, zealots, and cannons. And Jumy, he does actually rotate over to make it look like he's coming in for a proper scout. Overlord is on the hunt, and the Overlord will confirm. Gonna take an extra second or two, but he will get eyes on the pylon. And SHIN knows. SHIN, he now knows what's going on. SHIN, he does pull the boys. Bit of a later reaction here by SHIN. Took a couple of seconds. The pylon is going to finish up. Uh-oh. Yeah, the pylon is done. SHIN is on patrol, trying to block any kind of cannons. He's patrolling. The Zealots are on the way. And the purpose of the Zealots, of course, is to make sure these cannons, they get up and running. And we have to throw them down soon. The creep is about to spread. There we go. There's our first cannon. He gets 1. He gets 2. 2 cannons on the way. The creep is spreading. Boys are being pulled, and can these Zealots protect those cannons? Can they protect? They're trying to, but the drones are on the other side. The cannons are exposed. Zealots, oh no, they get surrounded. But who surrounds who? These Zealots are trading well. Yeah, drones are going down. SHIN, this is getting brutal. This is becoming far too much. 6 drone kills already. Cannons, one of them will complete. The other goes down. Zealot racing back, and this is going to be dealt with. Yeah, we're going to clean this up. Probe does fall. And the final cannon is going to be cancelled. SHIN holds. SHIN did lose 8 drones in the process, but that's worth it. That's worth it because everything here is proxy. There's nothing at home. There is nothing back at home. There's no expansion. There's no follow-up. Jumy is all in, and this is not good enough. Not yet. Yeah, the Zealots are going to be rolling in. They head towards the bases. Head into the mineral line. I mean, these 4 Zealots, they can trade well. True. Lings, they do. Oh, they depower. They depower the gateway. Queen does fall. For a Zealot, there's 3 Zealots left. Nice shuffling here by Jumy. Does shuffle around. Can't get surrounded though. Oh no! Oh my god. Yeah, 1 Zealot gets surrounded. And we clean this up. We clean this up. Remember, there is no more production. Nothing is powered. The final Zealot falls, and SHIN, he will hold. He will hold. And Jumy, wow, what can we do? We can't do anything right now. We have 1 Zealot left. True. 1 Zealot remains. Oh, SHIN, he's microing back though. Final Zealot goes down. We're coming into repower. But it's too late. If this was still powered, if we could still reinforce it, is GG SHIN. He will survive the cheese, and SHIN will take game number 1. Whew. GG. Oh my god, it's crazy. SHIN, he will take the game, but that was very intense though. There was definitely strong moments for Jumy. If Jumy was able to get actually to his cannons and actually protect them with those Zealots, and that could have been a very different game state. But as we saw, the Zealots got surrounded. They did not make it to the cannons in time. They could not body block as a result, and with that, SHIN did shut it down. Likewise, the foresight of SHIN to go for the pylon to depower all the gateways made sure that Jumy had no reinforcements. He had nothing left there. GG. GG. Here we go. We're getting into our next game. We are loading into El Dorado. we'll see how this story does end, if we go to the ace match or if SHIN can claim the series here and now. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of El Dorado, we have our German Protoss player, the green Protoss representing Streamer Zone, down in the series. After a failed cheese, to be fair, we'll see if we can bring it back. It is Jumy. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the red Zerg player from South Korea representing Gaiman Gladiators, leading the series 1-0. It is SHIN. Whew. SHIN, he was able to survive the cheese, survive the proxy, was able to shut it down, and with that, SHIN is one game away from advancing on into the quarterfinals already. These have been fast games. I mean, yeah, even Rebellion versus Jumy, they ended relatively quickly here. So we're on a more speedy portion. I say speedy portion at the back. For the most part, the first round is wrapping up, but we're almost done with round 2. Almost. For now, we have our openers looking like a standard setup here. Gate into expand into Cybercore. This time Jumy is not proxying. This time is not cheesing. This time is opening up in a standard fashion. Likewise, SHIN doing the same. Hatch, gas, pool. Standard openers all around. We're calming things down. After game 1, you know, we've gotten it out of our systems where we can take a breath. And we'll see where our players take us. Now, El Dorado is an interesting one. El Dorado is one of the more often vetoed maps in the map pool, but I don't know if I can actually say that anymore. As of late, the most vetoed map is still Neo-Violet Square, 100%, but I'll be honest, we're seeing more El Dorado compared to Abyssal Reef and King's Cove. Abyssal Reef and King's Cove, alongside Neo-Violet Square, they're also becoming, you know, more often vetoed over time, as those are some of the larger maps in the map pool and more defendable maps as well. So because that El Dorado is becoming more popular, it's becoming more trendy. It's one of those things where, yes, it's a quirky map, but it's better than some of the other maps. It's which is what's important. True. It's better than the others. Now, El Dorado, of course, does have the added quirk of these gold bases. You can expand towards your opponent, you can mine through these minerals, take the gold bases, and be hyper aggressive. Also, short resistance by air. And Jumy, speaking of aggression, Twilight Council. Twilight Council opener that this could be one of two things. Either this could be glaives, it could be 4-gate glaive adepts if we pull out of gas. If we stay in gas, this could be a DT based opener instead. I have seen Jumy go 2-base charge, so Jumy is a little bit more quirky, a little bit more experimental as a player. Link Scout is denied. And what do we go for? So far, we are staying in gas. There's the Robo. I'm leaning towards Dark Templar. Show us the Dark Shrine. Show us that Dark. There it is. Dark Shrine has been thrown down. We're opening up with DTs. Let's go. We're opening up with Dark Templar. And this is not an all-in. This can turn into an all-in, don't get me wrong, but this should just be a DT opener into some DT harass, into Archon drop, into a 3rd base, where Jumy just expands and he transitions out of this. This should just be a way to harass, to gain map control early on, and to keep the Zerg player busy while you transition out of it into an expansion, into a longer game state. That should be the end goal here for Jumy, but we'll see. There are definitely builds where you can throw down extra gases, you can throw down extra gateways, extra gases, and just commit into a 2-base all-in. But he's expanding. Yeah, Probe does move out, will expand. SHIN does go for a safety Rotorn. This was thrown down around the 355 mark. It is thrown down. Likewise, SHIN taking his 3rd, droning on up. Building up his lings, preparing ahead of time. Now, SHIN doesn't really know what's going on. For all he knows, this could be 4-gate glaives. So he's trying to prepare, massing up those lings. Overlord will confirm, as the Overlord will see everything. The Robo, the Twilight Council, and the Dark Shrine. SHIN, he sees all, he knows all. And spores are already done. We already have a spore here at the natural. Now a spore at the 3rd, spore in the main. Prism making his way across the map. Do open right into that main base. SHIN, he doesn't see this. SHIN, he's at the natural. Needs time to respond. Jumy hiding in the main. Does he go for another warp in? No shot. Does he wait? The gateways are about to, we're about to have another warp in. And this I haven't seen before. Jumy, cheeky move. Give us 6. No shot. Oh, no. Ah, the queens find it. The queens, they find the prism. Barely not able to warp in time. Jumy does have the Dark Templar. Lings, they get a full surround. Force warp in back at home. And it's going to be denied. The Nexus is cancelled. DTs are heading to the main. Ooh, Spore is going to fall. Massive pickup. He's going for the lair. He's going for the lair as well. And the lair, is it going to fall? We have the Spore coming in from low ground. But it might just be too late. It's going to be close. It's going to be close, but looks like the base is going to be saved just barely in time. Whew. As the Spore does burrow. And with that, SHIN holds. SHIN does hold. We have more DTs waddling towards that third base. DTs, they waddle away. Jumy, he gets shut down. Lings are in position. And with that, SHIN is holding. He's holding on. It was definitely creative here from Jumy. But alas, didn't quite work out. Didn't get the damage he was hoping for. Oh, actually, never mind. Gets a couple of drone kills. He's popping off at the natural. Takes down a queen. Takes down a roach. Overseers are on the way. He's going for the base, but once again, this is ambitious. He does waddle away. Whew. Does waddle away. Now, on the one hand, this was some okay damage. The problem, though, is that one, Jumy lost 4 Dark Templar already, so it's already been quite expensive. More importantly here, what else have we lost the 4th? Sorry, the 3rd. Remember, the 3rd base was cancelled. It was denied. There was also a massive pickup. Jumy going for another warp in. Making use of that range. Does pull away. Meanwhile, while SHIN's been defending, what do we go for? We go for a Spire. So a hidden Spire here for SHIN, I believe, has yet to be scouted. Jumy, he has no idea. SHIN droning up. Now, the reason why Spire play can be so good in this position, one, yes, mutas are weak against Archons. That is true. They are weak against Archons. But there's no Blink Stalker. Like, he knows that it's going to be Archon and charge lots, not Blink Stalkers. And there's no Stargate. Remember, there was no Stargate opener, so no Phoenixes. So no Phoenixes, no Blink Stalkers, only Archons for anti-air. So mutas, they can have free reign in the mineral lines. It is risky because you can force an Archon charge lot all in. Like a charge Archon all in, you can force it, and you could argue that maybe SHIN wouldn't have enough to defend. But these mutas have a lot of potential to just wreak havoc and to force that all in regardless. Or even hunt down this prism. As Jumy's pushing. He's already moving out. He's moving out with everything he has. SHIN does have a ground army. Again, he's not going mass muta. It's only muta harass. Only muta to harass. But here comes the push. And there's going to be 4 Archons. Mutas, they're not going to help in the defense. Their one roll here. There's so many Archons. Here we go, Jumy, he commits. He's got +1. He's got 5 Archons. Sorry, 6 even. Roaches are trying to hold on. Getting to the mineral line. Drones are going to be going down. And SHIN, has he been punished here for that muta tech? The mutas are making their way across the map, but it may not matter. As Jumy is all in. And it's one of those things where the mutas didn't force the all in. Jumy, he was already all in. He was already pushing in. So these mutas, they didn't really add much here. They didn't change anything. Base goes down. Mineral line as well. SHIN's in trouble. Mutas, they hit the 3rd base. Roaches are holding their own. You can see SHIN, he was more than happy to just give up on the expansion. We'll lose another. Lings, they try to wreak havoc across the map. But Jumy is holding. He's holding on. He's barely reinforcing in time. And he turns back around. And the soup does lie. Once again, it's one of those things where SHIN is stuck on a 2-base economy, and he is up in army supply. He's up in supply, but it's only Roach Raptor. It's inflated supply here. Jumy is in a better position. He's got the better economy. He's got the higher quality army as well. He's building up more Immortals, more Archons, getting into Blink. SHIN, he's in trouble. He either has to go for an all-in himself or hope that Jumy makes a mistake. A mistake that Jumy could make is overextending. But Jumy, he came home, right? He came back home. He didn't overextend. He did not fight this army. He pulls away, builds up. Time is on Jumy's side. And SHIN, he's not droning. SHIN is getting a third base, but he's not droning up. He's making purely Roach Ravager. And Jumy needs to take a defensive stance. Now, I don't think Jumy knows. I don't think he's aware that SHIN has been making nothing but army. Hopefully he doesn't push. As it's all or nothing for SHIN. And it's a massive army, don't get me wrong. SHIN, he rotates. Jumy trying to keep up. The Vials! Oh my god, they connect. They connect with the Archons. Ravager goes down. This movement there from SHIN. Bit of miss movement. Mutas are cleaned up. Mutas are dealt with. And again, there's no rush for Jumy. Jumy just has to chill. Just has to chill, calm down. Zelfs, they get across the map. They eviscerate the economy. They hit the natural. They hit the third. Drones are going down. And SHIN is even more all in. He's that much more committed. Now his hand is being forced. Wow, they trigger the shields. They trigger the shields. He snipes one Archon. And yeah, SHIN, he's just being pulled apart. Just being pulled apart at this point. Either he breaks Jumy here and now, or he dies trying. And he has to go for it. Vials, once again, they connect. Vials are connecting. Base goes down. Mineral line as well. SHIN, the Vials, they keep connecting. Jesus. How? Oh my god. Jumy, calm down. We'll bleed out all the Archons, bleeds out an Immortal as well, but here we go. We have DTs to defend, and there is zero detection. Oh my, he just keeps... He's like Clem with Storms. Where Clem takes all the Storms to the face, Jumy takes all the Vials. Regardless, GG gets caught. He likes the Vials. It's okay, he can tank them, and Jumy will tie up the series 1-1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. We are going to the ace match. We're going to the ace match, and again, just really... wise decision from Jumy. Even though he didn't know mutas were on the way, he did decide to, after the DT aggression early on, he did commit into an Archon follow-up, and with that he was again hitting a very strong timing. He wasn't really getting a fourth base, he wasn't taking extra gases, he was committed, and he was able to catch SHIN while SHIN was transitioning into that Muta flock to harass into the Spire as well, where SHIN needed to focus on his ground army. SHIN didn't know. He did not know what was coming his way until it was already knocking down that front door. As you mentioned, like, I was anticipating a situation where the mutas would like force an all-in and force a counterattack. That didn't happen. The attack was already there. The attack was already moving out, was already knocking down that third base before the mutas were even a factor. It's just hyper-aggression out of Jumy. Does tie the series up, which is what we assumed would happen. We were anticipating an ace match, but the question becomes, we're here at the ace match. How does the story end? Which way will this go? Spawning in the top right hand corner, we have the German Protoss player, the green Protoss representing Streamer Zone, tying up the series. It is Jumy. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Zerg player, the red Zerg representing Gaiman Gladiators. It is SHIN. Here we go. As SHIN is moving out with a hatch block. Let's go. Now, I'm assuming this is a... okay. I'm assuming this is going to be a hatch block, not a proxy hatchery. The goal here would be to get into the natural and to throw down the hatchery to block the expansion and to force an inefficient start from his opponent. So, cheeky start here by SHIN, as the drone does make his way in for that hatchery. So, he does open up hatch first into that hatch block. Let's go. That is a double hatch before pool. As a reminder, this is not an all-in. This is not an all-in. This is not aggressive out of SHIN. This is just designed to disrupt the build. Remember, there's no spawning pool. There's no pool. There's no gases. Like, there's no aggression here. It's just to delay the expansion of Jumy. So nice start here from SHIN. He does force the boys off the mineral line. Does the night mining here from 6 probes. He does force out a second gateway, the cyber core, all before the nexus. So again, this is an inefficient start out of Jumy. At the same time, this also delays the pool and the gas. So there's a bit of a give and take. From here, SHIN, he can cancel, he can morph in an Eva chamber, or he can go for a gas steal. Oh, there's the Eva chamber. So again, just buying a little bit more time. For those that are curious, how is there an Evo chamber? When you cancel a hatchery, a little bit of creep gets left over, like a small patch of creep, so you can build and construct a building on that creep. Ooh, as the drone is killed. Yeah, the drone goes down. If we kept it alive, we could have gone into the main and taken a gas. We could have tried to gas steal and delay even further. But Jumy defends. Jumy, he defends, he deals with it, he can now expand, and he has to do something with that zealot. He's forced to make a zealot, he's forced to make these adepts. There's going to be a big double adept zealot counterattack, and now SHIN has to survive. Remember, back at home, the queens and the lings are delayed, so it's not just damage for free. Now you have to kind of reap what you sow. You have to try to deal with the monster that you've created here with these adepts and with the zealot. Doesn't look like a lot of units here, but this early on, it can be quite impactful. So you can see that's why SHIN can't just drone, he has to make lings. He has to make lings, he has to get ling speed, he has to make these queens. He has to get ready for the counterattack. As the devs say shade across. But now they don't go for the mineral line, they're going to be applying pressure to the third base. We have 2 more adepts on the way, so we're getting up to 4 adepts. And we don't commit to the shade. The hatchery taking a lot of damage, actually. Down to half HP. Down to half HP. Going for a Stargate opener. Down to less than half HP. The queens, we have to respond to this. Here come the reinforcements for Jumy. Jumy pulling away, the base getting very low. Lings, they're going to try to collapse in. But again, now to 3 adepts. Soon to be 4. Another adept is on the way. Oh. SHIN is going to get close. It's going to get very close here. Lings, they dive in for the surround. So far, good kiting by Jumy. Does kite away. 1 adept. Ooh, commits to the shade. I don't think that was intentional. Does commit. Does go for the mineral line. And drones are going down. He gets 1. He gets 2. Gets 2 workers. Ling speed does kick in. And SHIN, whew, he survives. SHIN, he survives. He does defend. I spoke too soon. Adepts, they shade in. And they do recall back home. Oh my god. Saving both adepts, just barely. Okay. And again, that was intense. This base got in uncomfortably low. Got very, very low here. Technically, this could be sniped. This could be sniped in the mid-game, so we have to be very careful and keep an eye on that third base. SHIN does survive, goes for a counterattack, and he will delay the third base. Ooh, speaking of delaying the third, this is a lot of lings. This was a big investment by SHIN. You could argue an overreaction. As a lot of lings are made, and half of these lings could have been drones. They could have been workers, they could have been drones, so a bit of a more inefficient response here by SHIN. But what's he doing with all these lings? He's denying the fourth base. Sorry, denying the third. He's denying the third base over and over and over again. That's going to be 3 dead workers and 3 delayed third bases. And he's going again. He's going for it again. Oh, rotating over, surrounds the adepts, takes down 1, and takes down barely another. 2 adepts go down, going for the probe. And what's important here is that, yes, SHIN, he was forced to make all these things. It was inefficient, but he gains value for it. He gets adepts, he delays the expansion, and gets some probe kills. So good use of these things. Does pull away. And now he's droning. Now he's saturating. Roach Warren's on the way. Safety Roach Warren here by SHIN to make sure he doesn't die to anything too crazy. Speaking of something crazy, exactly what's happening. That is not blink. That is charge. So this is going to be a charge timing for Jumy. Throws down a massive gateway explosion. Oh my god, he's not stopping. How many gates? 6 gates on the way. 2 gateways already done. It's going to be a 3 base, 8 gate all in. Honestly, we could afford more. We can get up to 10 gates with this. And so far, that's going to be 9. So 7 gates plus 2, 9 in total. We can afford another gateway. Most likely, that final gateway is going to be a proxy gate across the map. Never mind. I assumed it was going to be a proxy, but no. Robo's on the way for the Warp Prism. And he throws down another gateway. We have 10. 10 gates for Jumy. It is a 3 base all in. Lings, they do hit the expansion. They try to get us around. Yeah, rough engage here for SHIN. Jumy will hold. And what's important, oh my god. As this is a bit of a tell, actually. These are gas mining workers, and SHIN does see this. As Jumy, he pulls out a gas. That's a tell. That was a tell then and there, seeing those gas mining workers pull out. And why would you pull out unless it's a charge all in? So SHIN, he might be able to piece it all together based on that. He hasn't scouted the main, But seeing those gases, or seeing those workers mining gas, is a tell. He's building up roaches. From this moment forward, we shouldn't drone. We should not make any more workers. We need as many roaches as possible. Ideally banelings as well, but at least roaches would be okay. Jumy's moving out. Does head towards that natural. And so far, we have been making nothing but roaches. Roaches are amassing. Here comes the only catch of the queens. Oh no, the queens! The queens that get surrounded. Yeah, massive catch for Jumy. That's going to be 3 queens for free. Does catch 3 queens. Black Red's moving in, collapsing on the army on the right-hand side. Does head for the mineral line. So far, good positioning. Does cut back behind the mineral line. Does create a choke point. The expansion is going to go down. Damage is dealt. And we're going for the mineral line. Catching out some of these workers, some of these roaches even. Yeah, they get surrounded, and Jumy, does he catch it out? Is it too much? Getting another queen. No anti-air left. The Oracle just going ham. Where the reinforcements, massive warp into the main. And Zelts are in every base. The third base, the natural, the main base as well. SHIN is getting pulled apart. And he might just not have enough. Yeah, he might just not have enough here. Remember, he lost all his queens. He has no anti-air. And Jumy, he's overwhelming. He collapses on the roaches. And the roaches are not long for this world. They're going down one after the other. And Jumy, he's done it. He has... Oh, no! Wasting a bit of DPS. There we go. Does rotate back into the natural. And GG gets called. Jumy, he overwhelms the army. And Jumy, he will claim the series. 2-1, eliminating SHIN from the tournament. GG. Whew. GG, well played. A very aggressive game there out of Jumy. Yes, I will say that SHIN, he did cut workers at, was it 59? Just under 3 base saturation. You could argue maybe he droned up a little bit too much, but at a certain point he was making nothing but roaches. It was a brutal moment when he lost all the queens though. Remember, he lost 3 queens out in the open. And what does that mean? I tried to mention it at the time, but because 3 queens went down, that meant that there was no anti-air to stop the prism into the main. That war prism going into the main base and going for reinforcements, there was like 1 queen in the main. There was just no anti-air to deal with that. There was nothing left to try to rotate, try to zone that prism away, and try to threaten the prism and threaten the warp-ins. Without that, free reign. Free reign for Jumy. He can warp in wherever he so please, and he could just reinforce right in the face of SHIN. GG. GG, well played. With that, Jumy, he does snowball out of control, and Jumy will claim the series. Will claim the series. Jumy just messaged me. He's like, Este Zerg, I just want to eat. I'm hungry. I'm like, you're eating all the Zergs, pap. You're eating all the Zergs. Oh no. Este Jumy. GG. GG, well played. Jumy, he will advance on into the next round and let us catch up on the bracket and figure out where we are. Let's go. Let us go.